Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at some really cool polishes that are available right now from the Cirque colors. They are featuring a greenhouse sale for the month of March, so select greens and brights will be 20% off. So I'll go ahead and link that right down below if you're interested. Today I have 6 shades to share with you, as well as some really simple nail art. So I'll go ahead and get right into it. So first up today, I have Key to Gramercy, and this is described as a mint sage green cream nail polish. I think all the polishes I have to share with you today are cream formulas. This one is the lightest green I have to share with you. So here's a look at that first easy coat. The creams from Cirque Colors are always really user-friendly. I find that the formulas are usually a little bit thicker, which makes for easier application for me, and I don't have to worry about running or pulling it towards the cuticles. So I'm going to go ahead, let this coat dry down. I did have fairly good coverage here, even at just that first coat, but 2 coats is going to make for complete opacity and make sure I get this as close as possible to my cuticles and sidewalls. I did get a little bit up there, so I just went in with some acetone and a cleanup brush and clean that right up. So here's a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next I have Central Park After Dark, and this polish is described as a khaki green cream nail polish. So again, that really nice cream formula. This one has a little bit of sage or moss to it, a little bit deeper, a little bit more swampy, and really pretty on the nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one does go on nice and creamy. I will say it's maybe a little bit less opaque than Gramercy Park or Key to Gramercy. So, but it's really going to build up very well on itself as well. So here's a look at that second coat. 2 coats, it does make for complete coverage. Again, no issues at all. I think all of the polishes today are going to be really easy 2 coaters. So I really have no complaints. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. You can see here that these do dry down are really glossy. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up is Lafayette, and this polish is described as an emerald green cream nail polish. So again, a really good cream formula. This one is definitely more jewel tone than the other greens that we've seen today. So here's a look at that first easy coat. It goes on super creamy, really easy, just a little bit of visible nail line left. However, that does kind of mellow out as this polish dries down. I am going to go ahead, complete this coat, and then show you how it built up for me with that a quick second coat. So here is a look at that 2 coats of dust for sure, bringing this polish completely opaque and no complaints at all, no staining really, and I think this is going to be a gorgeous color for your St. Patty's Day celebrations and on through spring as well as for nail art. So here is a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up is the Tavern on the Teal, and this polish is described as a dark teal green cream nail polish. This one is definitely pulling a little bit more blue toned under my camera than it is in person. It does definitely have more of a deeper green tone with some blue in there as well. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, no complaints, goes on super smooth and easy, just a little bit of visible nail lines. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. So here I went in for a little bit of a thicker second coat. You definitely can go in a little bit thinner if you prefer, but 2 coats it does bring this polish completely opaque. And here is a look at that completed mani. I would say that this is a little bit more true to color here. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So next up is McKittrick, and this is described as a forest green cream nail polish. So again, really gorgeous, a little bit deeper here. This is more forest tones, very beautiful on the nails. I will say that of the polishes that I have to share with you today, this is the thinnest formula. It's kind of on the edge of being like a squishy jelly, but really opaque, if that makes sense. So here's a look at that first coat. A little bit of streaking there and definitely some visible nail line. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how it builds up with a quick second coat. So I did go in a little bit thicker again with the second coat, and this one is really on the edge of being a 2 or 3 coater depending on your application. Honestly, I could have gone in for a 3rd coat, but I really liked how it kind of looked squishy and jelly around the edges, so I stopped here. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So to finish off my swatches today, I do have one of the bright tones. This is Fire Island, and this polish is described as a bright red-orange cream nail polish. This is definitely true to its name, very fiery on the nails. Here's a look at that first easy coat. This is pulling fairly neon in my camera. It is just a little bit deeper than that. At this first coat, I did have really nice coverage, however, a little bit of visible nail lines. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with that second coat. Two coats did push this polish right to the edge of being completely opaque. This is one of those that you could go in for a third if you wanted to, but I really like the finish just at 2. So here's a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. And then finally, my last swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. Definitely a beautiful polish. So I really want to wrap this up with some easy St. Patty's Day nail art. So today I'm using a nail art mat. You definitely don't have to. You can put nail polish on pretty much anything from saran wrap to baggies to plastic lids, whatever you have available for you to make a decal. You can definitely also do this nail design on your nail. However, I found when I tried to make this pattern on my nails, because I'm going in with a thicker first coat, it kind of slides around and does not retain its shape. So I'm adding 4 dots of McKittrick to a base of Key to Gramercy and a 4-leaf clover pattern. Then in between all of those, I'm going to go in with one of the lighter shades. So I'm going to use Lafayette today, just in between the darker green and blob that right in. Next, I'm going to go in with a small detail brush and just feather that out a little bit to give it more of a clover feel or design to it. I was really, really happy with how these turned out. Because the polish that I'm using for this blobby cure is a little bit on the thicker side, I am going to let this dry down for a little bit. So I'm going to go in really quickly and add just a little stem detail just to bring it all together and then let it dry down. Once it is dry to the touch, I like to go in with a top coat. Because this is a thicker amount of polish, you definitely don't have to do that. It does make a really good decal without doing this step, but I felt a little bit more comfortable because I was letting these rest overnight. So I did go ahead and go in for a quick top coat to make it a little bit easier to handle and less prone to breakage. I do recommend this if you're waiting some time or if you're wanting to save these decals. So once that is completely dried down, I did go back in with 1 coat of a Key to Gramercy. You could just do 1 coat of top coat, and I already had white on my nails for another project, so you definitely don't have to go in for a white base coat or anything like that. So I'm going to go let that dry down till it's tacky and then go right over that with the decal. So I'm just going to press this firmly to my nail where I wanted to. I did find that this design was fairly large from my nails, so I did lose a little bit of the petal. Depending on how long or short your nails are, you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're making your blobby cure. So I'm just going to kind of press this firmly across my nail to get it breaking down and adhering to that nail polish. I did go in with an orange stick, and I think that this is invaluable when you're doing this type of nail art to really ease application and cleanup. So I'm just going to go push that right into the cuticle and break that image off. I found this step to be so much easier than trying to go in with acetone and a cleanup brush and break it down around the nail line, and really like 10 times easier to clean up. So I'm going to go ahead and break off all the excess all the way down across the nail. I was even able to use it towards the tip. I just kind of bent the decal around my tip and then went in with the orange stick right underneath that free edge and broke it off of there. So I hope that makes sense. Really easy to use, and these are super affordable. They were like, I think you get 12 of them at Walmart for like $1 or something less than that. Really affordable. So next I'm going to go in with acetone and a cleanup brush and just kind of break down the decal around the edges. I did have a little bit of ruffling, and this is really going to help it adhere to the nail. So to finish all that off, I'm going in with 1 coat of a glossy top coat. It's really important to seal in all of those edges, especially your free edge, to make them long wearing. I did go ahead and do kind of a water marble design for my index and pinky nails. I thought I'd go ahead and share how I did that today because it's super easy. And again, the cleanup is like so much preferable to dipping in water. So I'm going in again with 1 really thick coat of the Key to Gramercy, and then with McKittrick, just some little blobs kind of in a semicircle pattern, just randomly really across that base. And then I'm going to go back in with Lafayette in between and add a little bit more detail there. So you do want to work a little bit quickly when you're doing blobby cures. You don't want that base color to dry and then the shades to not expand well. So just work as quickly as you are able to, adding those blobs of polish. You don't have to worry about going too thick with these really, because you're going to give them time to dry down on whatever you're using. So no problems there. So next I'm using a small detail brush and just dragging outwards randomly, making sure I pass through all of those dots. And that's a really cool web design, but I'm also going to pull it inwards as well just to break that up a little bit. Really happy with how these turned out. And again, you can make them as small or as large as you need to depending on your personal nail size. So again, same steps. I'll let that dry down and then topped it with top coat. So here is a look at that completed mani. Got me all kinds of in the St. Patrick's Day feelings. So that's all I have to share with you today. Definitely check out the Cirque colors and see all of the polishes that they're offering for sale. If you'd like to see more, you can also follow me on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.